We're back to the Total Education Celebrity Show on the Total Education Network, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment. TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook. And I want to welcome the program, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. Former WWE Superstar, celebrity actor, and much, much more, John Hennigan. John, how are you, man?
Doing great, man. Good to be here. Good to be on the show.
I'm excited to talk to you especially, but tell our audience a little bit about your background. Then we're going to get specifically to some of the projects you're doing right now.
Let's see. Where do I start? I've done a little bit of everything. Currently, I've got a fitness product out called Out of Your Mind Fitness that is a virtual personal trainer, a completely programmed functional training regimen built to get anyone into the best shape of their life. I've also been doing the Hollywood shuffle, so to speak, acting, doing some stunt work here and there, and wrestling independent gigs in my free time. So been doing a lot of stuff.
Well, absolutely, and you're keeping busy in so many ways. So tell us specifically how you got involved with Out of Your Mind Fitness. We all know that you were a WWE Superstar for some time. You were a TV star at the beginning and even in Tough Enough 3, so you knew the whole industry of Hollywood. So tell us specifically how you got involved in this product.
Well, along the way, as part of being a WWE superstar, your training and personal conditioning falls on to yourself. Basically, every wrestler is responsible for their own training regimen, nutrition, diet, and it becomes something that takes up a lot of your time because it's a lot of what you are and what your job is as a pro wrestler to look a certain way and be able to perform and move a certain way. And I've always been into working out. I started when I was 15. When I first started, when I was 15, I didn't really know what I was doing. I read workout books, or I go to the gym and kind of see the seniors were doing bench press, so I started benching, and I started getting more and more into it. And eventually, when I was wrestling in college, I started getting into a little bit of bodyweight stuff. But I didn't fully understand what the point of it was until I started on the road with WWE. When I started on the road with WWE, time became a really big factor for me because you're doing 200 shows a year, so you couldn't spend 2 to 3 hours in the gym.
No, not at all.
You have an hour. You have to get in and out and get it done. And I think that's something that's true for pretty much everybody. Regardless of what you're doing, most people don't have time to spend 2 to 3 hours. So I started figuring out that a lot of these body weight and functional movements gave me the best results as far as function and time, because you're doing movements across multiple muscle groups. So instead of doing bench press, a quadruped push-up, you're on one foot and one hand. You're getting a great chest, shoulder, and tricep work. So you're keeping your core engaged, your hip flexor, and you're working on balance and core stability. So putting all that together in one exercise, I felt like I was getting more out of the time that I was putting into the gym, which is why I started liking it even more, and people started asking me questions about it. And my friend, Jeff Carrier, who's a fitness guru, he's got 10 different certifications, and I started developing this program at a gym in Manhattan Beach. And within a few months, other trainers at gym were buying personal training sessions from Jeff so he could show them the stuff that we were coming up with. And everybody, it's one of the first questions that was always asked on interviews from fans. So I really wanted to have something to explain to people what I do to work out, what functional training is, a little bit of the diet and nutrition and cardio, but mostly so I could answer that question that seemed to be something that everybody wanted to know from me. So
discovering through workouts what worked well for you and being able time-wise, you researched and figured out and had your partner come up with a game plan on how you can market this and say, you know what, you don't need 3 hours in the gym. And John, who really has time for 3 hours in the gym? At times when we were trying to break in, I don't know if your publicist or agent told you I was a former professional wrestler. I did the minor league circuit and worked in a lot of places you kind of in the stomping grounds. But at that time, we had more time to train. But once you're in a situation where you have to hit the air, go on the flight every day and travel, and it's constant, just go, go, go. People need to know that they don't have to spend so much time in the gym. So it must have been fantastic when you figured this out. And now I'm sure excited about getting the message out to the everyday person that they don't have to work out that much.
Yeah, 100%. And and sometimes you have 2 hours to spend in the gym every long once in a while. Those are the times that I enjoyed trying new things. And it's really interesting to me to try different exercises, feel like which ones are the best, which ones do I like the best, which ones keep me interested, which ones give me the best results. So, I was spending a lot of time working on this. We started working on this Out of Your Mind Fitness legitimately in 2010 was when we conceived of it. I did an article for Muscle and Fitness in 2010 where I was saying it was going to be done in 6 months. And then 2.5 years later, we finally got it done. It was because we wanted to have something that was really all-encompassing. And it's the difference between really doing something on your own, like literally writing every word in the book, programming the training log, doing the DVD on your own, as opposed to having a corporation back you and just take care of everything. There's a lot of little things that Jeff and I, and a small team had to personally give attention to every detail, which is why it took so long. But it's also why it really feels like a power program.
Right, exactly. So let's just say the average person that's not worked out in a ton of time. John, when I was in wrestling, I really did work out a lot. As an entrepreneur, I really don't have the time to work out. How could I benefit from using Out of Your Mind Fitness? Tell me specifically what would be the difference than just average training day using this program.
Well, there's a couple things. First, it's got everything you need written down for you. So you take the training log or the phone app with you to the gym, and you don't have to think about what you're going to do every day because Out of Your Mind Fitness has the workouts written down. Your set, rep, and rest info is all there. So it's like having a personal trainer. You have to you won't show up to the gym and not have a plan or just sit on a bench and text and sometimes I think people do that and they don't realize they've been at the gym for an hour or two and they haven't really even done anything close to a good workout. So having something written down for you and keeping track of what you're doing and progressing towards something is going to make you progress towards your goals in fitness. Now, a regular person, anyone that can do a push-up and a squat can start Out of Your Mind Fitness. And it's broken down so that you start with bodyweight exercises that most people can do and increase the difficulty of those exercises up until stuff that most people can't do, maybe can't ever do. And the point of that is to give yourself a long-term goal and force your body to adapt. And even if you're never doing level 5 exercises, along the way, it gives your workout and your physicality a direction, which I think is really important for anybody who's going to be spending time in the gym.
I think that's great because, again, we all need a personal trainer because we can't motivate ourselves in simple ways. And to be able to have that app and be able to look at specific workouts and lead you to starting small and continuing to progress, because the better you get training, the more you want to keep on going to getting a body like yours, John. And I never even, when I was a pro wrestler, had that. And it's amazing. And I saw even after you stopped competing in the WWE, you got even in better and better shape because you really got involved in seeing and having a little bit more time to work out as well. Wouldn't you agree? And have more rest than you did when you were working 200 days a year. Correct?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. Now that I'm not doing 200 shows a year and traveling 200 to 250 days a year, I'm at home. I can have more control over what I eat and how much I sleep. And everything for me, I've always been interested in physical stuff. So I've been doing the value marine fitness, working on that, has definitely kept me in the best shape of my life, better than I was when I was with WWE, mostly because of the sleep and the nutrition. But that type of thing has just been what I've been interested in since high school. And now that I have the time and the program and I've had the idea and the knowledge for a long time, but now that it's formulated into a solid plan, it feels really good. Like I can go in, get it done, and then have time to do other stuff too, like stunt fighting or acting or whatever. I'm about to go into a rehearsal right now for a movie that I'm shooting. It starts on the 23rd in Big Bear.
See, I'm used to doing that all the time, John. I interview a lot of celebrities in Hollywood, and I know how the process is. Basically, your agent gets you a gig, you go in, you try out, and you don't know when these auditions are going to be, so you have to be able to find a gym and do it. So, John, you don't need to have the ultimate weight room. You can go to anywhere and train and use this program, correct? So a situation where you're let me give you an example. You have an audition in the morning somewhere in LA, then you have to go clear across town somewhere else, and you just find some place to go work out that might not be your usual gym. You could still use this program and be able to keep going, right?
Absolutely. And then that was, I think, just came about naturally because of how I developed it. When Jeff and I were training at different gyms in Southern California, I mean, Equinox or Gold Venice or Powerhouse, there's different equipment at every gym. But I was taking this program on the road, and sometimes I was training at an Equinox in Dallas, sometimes I was training at the YMCA in Tulsa, or sometimes in Anytime Fitness, or sometimes just a crappy high school weight room at a venue where we were doing the show that had almost nothing. So the idea was exactly what you just said, having a fitness program that you can do at any gym, just in case, because you're not always going to have the luxury of working out in a 5-star facility.
Well, absolutely, and the more busy you get, the more things, especially being an entrepreneur, you see now, John, is a little different than before when you were the talent. Now you're coming up with all these ideas of how to market. You have agents contacting you left and right. It's not like, you're a handler. You go to one event to the next event to the next event. You're going from 5 events some days to somewhere else. So you have to really program yourself to say, okay, I'm going to train every day, but it might be in a different place. So I'm glad you formed that for everyone. So now tell us a little bit about some of the other upcoming projects. I know you're excited about Boone the Bounty Hunter as well. Is that the newest thing that you're doing? Tell us about that.
Boone the Bounty Hunter is a movie that I co-wrote, and it is something that I'm very excited about. The idea is a bounty hunter that does parkour to catch his bounties. I would be playing Boone, and we shot a sizzle trailer for it. The sizzle looks really good, and it's something that I'm going to push really hard to get made in the next few months. I can talk forever about Boone.
Hey, well, we'll have to have you back on, John, to talk about that. Yeah.
I think the best thing to do is when Boone comes out, I think it'll be more self-explanatory. But it's going to be a stylized action comedy, but it's going to have a lot to do with the way that I feel like action should be. And I feel like also there isn't really this generation is missing their Stallone or their Schwarzenegger. There's not that action hero guy. There's a lot of different kind of movies. There's blockbuster action movies obviously the Avengers and then the Bourne movies. But a lot of the people playing those heroes are actors,
right?
And they do. It's really cool. I love those movies, but it's just a little bit. It's different. It doesn't remind me of the badass the movies that I grew up on. You didn't think Trouble in Little China, Bloodsport.
Oh yeah,
Terminator. Rambo.
Rambo, absolutely, yes, John. I completely agree with you. So that's great, and you utilizing that creativity to be able to do that. Any news that your fans want to hear about? I mean, I'm just checking the blogosphere. I don't know if you could say anything, or do we have to have you back in a couple months to give us an update what's going on specifically with the rest of your career, other things going on? I know you have an audition or you're shooting something. I don't know if you can give that information out yet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start shooting something in Big Bear in a few weeks. I don't think there's in the press release for it yet, so I can't talk about it till probably next week. But as far as the rest of my career goes, yeah, maybe I should come back in a couple months and give you guys an update.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely want you to do that. And do you see yourself going back into wrestling full-time and doing the acting thing as well, kind of almost like The Rock has done or Hogan has done, especially now because you're doing all these different things? Do you see yourself going back onto the main stage again in wrestling?
At some point, yes. I mean, I started wrestling originally because it's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. And there isn't much that I've done that's much fun as wrestling. So I at some point I definitely want to get back to wrestling, and I'm sure that I'm going to somewhere. And I think that's all I can say about wrestling for now.
Oh, absolutely, John. So where can our go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Okay, where can our listeners find more information on you and how they can purchase Out of Your Mind Fitness and learn everything that you do?
You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRealMorrison, or you can go to www.ooymfitness.com to see information about Out of Your Mind Fitness and purchase the program and get into the best shape of your life.
Well, John, thanks for coming on the show. Look forward to having you back in about 3 months to give us an update what's going on in your projects, because it was a lot of fun and learned a lot. So thanks for calling.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care. You're listening to Total Education Celebrity Show on the Total Education Network, and we'll be back in just a moment.